me show you Enlace that I present in Chapter 5. Enlace is linking in English, and it's simply creating transcribing one full sentence as if it were a word, and you ignore all the spaces that you see between words. The example that I have is El niño es alto. We are now going to remove all those spaces and do the same coding of vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. And therefore, this is called linking, removing all spaces between words. And we analyze it just as we have until now. Vowel to vowel, two consonants, L and N. Does that make a cluster? No. So that's rule number 3. Vowel to vowel is rule number 1. This vowel to vowel, OE, are two strong vowels, and therefore it's ya and yato, rule number 7. Vowel to vowel, rule number 1. Vowel to vowel, we have two consonants, we have to decide how to divide it. LT does not make a cluster, and therefore it's rule number 3. Therefore, we have to now simply pull down all the information without spaces. And that's how we get enlace. Another example that I have here is es un estudiante alto. And I'm going to show you that when you do that enlace, this is what happens, that you kind of lose that boundary between words in Spanish. English, we don't do it so much. I'll give you one more example that I have in the notes. How about the longer one? Las iglesias hermosas están en, I ran out of room, Alemania. Let me try and fit this all in. Consonant, I'm just going to code everything as we have until now. Remember what we do with H's, we ignore them. Okay, now I'm going to start analyzing. Vowel to vowel is rule number 1. Vowel to vowel, GL, this is a cluster, so that's rule number 2. Vowel to vowel is rule number 1. Vowel to vowel, I have a weak vowel there, so it's a diphthong, I won't analyze it, or divide it. This is rule number 1. CRL, RM is not a cluster, so that's rule number 3. This is rule number 1. Rule number 1. We have two consonants here. That's our ST in Spanish. They do not form a cluster, so that's rule number 3. Vowel to vowel is rule number 1. I'm going to kind of go here, vowel to vowel. You're going to break it in front of the, that's rule number 1. Rule number 1, rule number 1, rule number 1. And what we have here is a diphthong. So what I'm going to do is recopy this exactly the way I transcribed it or syllabified it. Second step, make sure I go back and check to see what I do with my diphthongs, the weak vowels and the diphthongs. This I is in the first position, changes to that yeah sound. And here's another one. This is also in the first position, and changes to that.